Good morning. My name is Lev, and I'm talking to you from beautiful Auckland, New Zealand. And in this very short presentation, I'm going to share some thoughts, some insights from comparing two very different events. One is a Christchurch earthquake, and another one, our response to pandemic in one of Auckland hospitals in March 2020. So first of all, I just want to show you a couple of pictures. One is on the bottom, the moment of a Christchurch earthquake in February 2011, and one on the top is a very unusual look of Auckland in lockdown back in March 2020, when the place was absolutely empty, and it was really unusual feel just to have empty streets and lockdown level 4. So looking at the first event, which is a Christchurch earthquake, 2011, what impact it had on us in a way of being unexpected, unusual, and evolving event. It was a sudden event. No one was preparing for it. We didn't have like one single course of action. We had obviously very high level of stress and anxieties because we don't know what's happening. A lot of unknown, a lot of uncertainty, and not much time to develop any plans or any kind of course of action. At the same time, the beginning of COVID-19 in New Zealand followed slightly different script. We knew it's going to come. There was a lot of plans put in place, a lot of preparation, which in fact potentially was a reason for some, call it preparation fatigue, because we didn't really know what we're preparing for. High levels of anxiety, but mainly like anticipating what's going to come, because we didn't have many cases in New Zealand in the first place, and we didn't have many patients coming to us. In the hospital I managed, we had only a small pocket of about 11 or 12 patients, all coming from one rest home and really not feeling that unwell. However, it caused a lot of stress and anxiety in the system. Obviously, our teams had to develop a very high level of technical skill, like using PPE, and it was very different in many ways, mainly around planning, very different from our experience during the earthquakes. Well-known approach to manage complexity and uncertainty, the VUCA approach: volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous situations. What I really like about the slide is how it's replaced with a slightly different approach, which is the uncertainty replaced by understanding, complexity by compassion. And it's really important to remember as well, when you understand and compassionate, you can not just be adaptable, at the same time, it can support and help you to develop the high potential for resilient behavior. So shared understanding, it's like a key in both events, because what we're trying to create a situation when people involved in both situations at hospital level, teams, individuals, call it agents in the context of complex adaptive system, that develop shared knowledge, shared skill base, and again, kind of shared sense making, trying to understand what's happening around them and during the event. Developing shared understanding in the disaster response context, like in the Christchurch earthquake, pretty much was based on a well-structured framework, which is disaster response framework, dissemination of information, very clear chain of command and control, debriefs, and despite the complexity and uncertainty, still quite solid communication structure in place, which in many ways assisted in developing shared understanding of what's happening. At the same time, developing shared understanding in a COVID-19 response environment was different. It was more around collaboration and developing policies and procedures, a lot around understanding sharp and blunt end about what's happening, collaborative learning, and really important is looking at workarounds and improvisations as a part of the response. And even more importantly, how to mitigate planning fatigue, because a lot of times, as our learning experience, when you develop plans, you can get to the point when you just can't really plan anymore. And in fact, We just need to do things. That's pretty much all for the very brief 5 minutes, and I'm finishing this beautiful picture of one of New Zealand's most beautiful spots. And I do hope that one day our borders will be open and we'll be able to come and visit us at beautiful New Zealand. Thank you for your time.